Allison Moorer and her sister Shelby Lynne are both acclaimed singer-songwriters. Allison with an Oscar nomination and Shelby with a Grammy Award. But they also share a childhood marked by one devastating moment when their father shot their mother and then turned the gun on himself. In her stunning new memoir, Blood, Allison Moorer writes about the legacy of that murder-suicide, two sisters' lifelong quest to make peace with their past and the power of human resilience. We talked to Allison recently for her first and only TV interview.
Why do I carry
For most of Allison Moorer's life,
what is on my
the story of her parents has been hiding in her music.
Every record I've ever made has got some song on it that has something to do with this, or something to do with my parents.
Over the past few years, the 47-year-old singer has been researching her mother and father,
Those autopsy reports I sent away for her.
especially their deaths.
I want to know why, so that I can come to terms and say, okay, well, what I'm really trying to do is forgive.
Can you do that?
Yeah. I needed to do it so that I could be happy.
In her new memoir, Blood, Moorer tries to find proof that, as she writes, we weren't and aren't ruined by it all.
I'm still trying not to be the daughter of a murderer. I'm still trying not to be the daughter of an abused and murdered woman. I'm still trying to redeem them.
Franklin and Lynn Moorer raised their daughters in Frankville, Alabama. Allison and her older sister, Shelby, grew up surrounded by music. That's the family singing and playing together in the mid-70s.
The mama's singing the low harmony, I'm singing the high harmony.
Their father was a teacher and an aspiring songwriter. But Franklin Moorer also had a drinking problem and a mean streak.
You used to say a prayer every night.
Mm-hmm.
What was the prayer?
Please, God, don't let Daddy hurt Mama. And I would say it over and over and over.
What was it you felt in the house?
Terror.
One day, while playing with Shelby, Allison fell off the family horse.
Our daddy hit my sister in the face for it. When your daddy beats the crap out of you, how are you supposed to feel like you're worth anything?
In 1986, Lynn finally left her husband and moved with the two girls to this rental house. In the early hours of August 12th, Franklin paid a visit.
You heard the shots that morning?
Mm-hmm. They woke me.
It was Shelby who went outside, right?
Of course.
On the front lawn, Shelby found their father had shot their mother and then turned the gun on himself.
I think he just broke.
Shelby, at 17, and Allison, 14, were suddenly orphans.
It's a difficult thing to walk through the world and not belong to anyone. So we belong to each other. We've always felt like that.
You've never been back there, have you?
No, I've never been back to that house.
It has never stopped haunting her.
The tragedy colors everything, and all the good feels a bit bittersweet. This is Mama pregnant with Sissy.
Mementos of her parents are all over Allison's Nashville home.
My mama was a great mama, and she is why I'm okay. She is why my sister is okay.
What did she give you?
She never, ever let me believe that I was not loved.
If she has often doubted her father's affections, she still held on to his hat,
It travels with you.
It travels with me.
his briefcase, and his guitar.
I'm the one to blame.
How do you feel about him now?
I feel nothing but love.
How did you get to that?
Time, investigation, willingness, and having a little boy.
How did that make a difference?
I got to see and experience a little boy and know that my daddy was one time. This is my son, John Henry.
Allison's son
Bless his heart.
is autistic. She knows one day she'll have to explain the family history.
Did you figure out what you're going to tell John Henry?
Probably that His grandparents were troubled and beautiful, like we all are.
This is an absolutely stunning book, Blood.
Yes.
Just a brilliantly, beautifully written book. And she's released an album as well that sort of goes along with it. It's an incredible story. You wonder when you pick it up, how can you tell this?
Yes.
She's done it. It's really
Yeah,
remarkable.
but she's stunning and powerful. I marvel at her ability to forgive, especially when she was 14 and her sister's 17. You're old enough to really understand
Yes.
what has happened
Yes.
and the abuse that you've seen.
She describes essentially being on a hamster wheel for most of her life, trying to reach some elusive peace. I said, did you get there? And she said, no, I just got off.
Wow. Very powerful piece.
Bracingly articulate on areas of life that a lot of us keep silent about.
Yep.
Thank you, Anthony.